Your brain is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to keep you alive. And until you understand that difference, many of the habits you rely on to feel better will continue to disappoint you. Most people believe happiness is something that appears when life finally goes their way. A better job, more money, the right relationship, less stress. But neuroscience tells a very different story. Your brain is constantly scanning for problems, threats, and uncertainty because that's exactly what it evolved to do. Even when life is going well, your mind naturally notices what could still go wrong. The good news is that this isn't permanent. The human brain can physically change throughout your life. And by the end of this video, you'll discover 3 simple habits that neuroscience suggests can gradually rewire the way your brain responds to everyday life. The third habit is the one most people ignore because it seems too simple to matter. But it may be the one that changes everything. Here is where the science becomes truly fascinating. For decades, scientists believed that the adult brain was largely fixed. That once your personality and emotional patterns had formed, they would remain almost the same for the rest of your life. But modern neuroscience completely changed that understanding. Researchers discovered that your brain is constantly reshaping itself in response to what you repeatedly think, feel, and do. This ability is known as neuroplasticity. It means that every repeated experience strengthens certain neural pathways while allowing others to gradually weaken. In other words, the brain you have today is not necessarily the brain you'll have a year from now. Your current emotional habits are not permanent. They are simply the patterns your brain has practiced the most. And just as repeated stress can train your brain to become more anxious, repeated healthy habits can train it to become calmer, more resilient, and more capable of experiencing genuine happiness. That means happiness isn't simply something you find. It is something your brain can gradually learn. Habit 1. Interrupt the negativity loop. The first habit that begins rewiring your brain is surprisingly simple. It starts the moment you notice a negative thought repeating itself. Most people allow those thoughts to continue without interruption. They replay the same worry, the same mistake, the same imagined future. And every repetition strengthens the neural pathway connected to that pattern. But neuroscience suggests that awareness creates a choice. The moment you catch yourself entering a negative thought loop, pause for just a second. Then deliberately redirect your attention towards something real in the present moment. Not forced optimism. Not pretending everything is perfect. Simply noticing what is actually around you. The sound you can hear. The object in front of you. The feeling of your feet touching the floor. Each interruption weakens the automatic pathway of negativity while strengthening your brain's ability to return to the present. Here is your action today. The next time you catch yourself overthinking, silently say stop, then identify 3 things you can physically observe around you. It may feel small, but repeated often enough, small interruptions create lasting change. Habit 2. Hold on to the good. The second habit is based on one of the most overlooked discoveries in neuroscience. Your brain naturally remembers negative experiences far more easily than positive ones. A single criticism can stay with you for days, while a compliment often disappears within minutes. This happens because your brain is built to prioritize potential threats over pleasant moments. But that pattern can be changed. The next time something genuinely good happens, don't rush past it. Pause for a moment. Stay with the experience. Notice how it feels. Instead of immediately moving on to the next task, allow yourself to fully experience that positive moment for at least 20 seconds. That brief pause gives your brain time to strengthen the neural pathways connected to positive emotion. Without that attention, many good experiences simply pass by without leaving a lasting impression. Here is your action today. Choose one positive moment before the day ends. Hold your attention on it for 20 to 30 seconds. The experience may last only a moment, but the pathway your brain builds can last much longer. Before we move to the third habit, let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something simply because you enjoyed it? Not because it made you more productive. Not because it helped your career. Not because it improved your health. But simply because you genuinely enjoyed doing it. For many people, the answer is surprisingly difficult. Somewhere along the way, enjoyment became something to earn instead of something to experience. Work came first. Responsibilities came first. Productivity came first. And little by little, the activities that once made life feel light quietly disappeared. Most people never notice this change because it happens so gradually. But your brain notices. In fact, one of the most important sources of long-term happiness slowly begins fading the moment play disappears from your life. And that brings us to the third habit. At first, it may sound almost too simple to matter. But neuroscience suggests it may have one of the deepest effects on the way your brain develops over time. Habit 3. Make time for play. The third habit may sound the least impressive, but it may have the greatest long-term impact on your brain. It is intentional play. Most adults slowly stop playing without ever realizing it. Life becomes a series of responsibilities. Deadlines. Bills. Appointments. Everything begins serving a purpose. But your brain needs moments that exist for no reason other than enjoyment. Activities like drawing, playing an instrument, cooking something new, playing a game, or simply doing something that makes you lose track of time. Neuroscientists have found that genuine play activates multiple regions of the brain responsible for creativity, emotional regulation, learning, and resilience. More importantly, repeated play helps strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the area that supports emotional balance and flexible thinking. Here is your action this week. Choose one activity you used to enjoy but gradually abandoned as life became busier. Schedule just 30 minutes to do it. Not to achieve anything. Not to become better at it. Simply to enjoy it again. Sometimes the fastest way to build a happier brain is to remember how to play. Action plan. Now you know the 3 habits. But knowledge by itself changes nothing. Your brain doesn't rewire because you understand an idea. It rewires because you repeat an experience. That is why consistency matters far more than intensity. You don't need to transform your life overnight. You only need to give your brain the right signals. One day at a time. Interrupt one negative thought. Hold on to one positive moment. And make time for one activity you genuinely enjoy. Each action may seem almost insignificant on its own. But together, they gradually strengthen new neural pathways while allowing old patterns to fade. This is how lasting change happens. Not through one dramatic breakthrough, but through hundreds of small repetitions that slowly become your brain's new default. Start with just one habit today. Practice it again tomorrow. Then let your brain do what it has always been designed to do. Adapt, learn, and change. If there is one thing to remember after watching this video, it is this. Your brain is not fixed. It is constantly changing in response to what you repeatedly do. Every negative thought you interrupt, every positive moment you choose to hold on to, and every moment of genuine play, is teaching your brain a new pattern. Happiness is not something that suddenly appears one morning. It is something your brain gradually learns through consistent practice. Small actions repeated often become lasting neural pathways. And lasting neural pathways become your new default way of experiencing life. So don't wait until you feel happier before you begin. Begin today. Train your brain one habit at a time. Because every repetition is shaping the person you're becoming. If this video gave you a new perspective, comment the number 3 below. Let's see how many people have realized that happiness isn't something you find. It's something you train your brain to create.